Yes, hello everyone. Hope you're doing all right. Welcome back to Newcastle Fans TV, and we are going to be talking about what the owners have done to one in particular very special football club. This is NFTV. As you can see, you've got the Mac in front of us. We're going to take a look back at a video that I created 4 years ago with the help of one of two other former members, talking about the change that we wanted to see put into Newcastle United. And it's quite incredible, the amount of twists and negativity and just pure lack of starvation that's being put in. And I'm talking about the women's side of football. Now, before the stereotypes jump off and click off, just take a look at this video that we're going to talk about, and we'll break it down because the contrast is so different. So whether you like women's football or not, I personally love it. I put a lot of heart and effort into putting content out every Sunday for you, and I've brought Joe on board as well. But this breaks down what the owners have actually done for the women's side of game and how far we can actually go. We're going to take a look back. It's over 4 years ago. Now, you've got to remember, at the time, Newcastle United had just been taken over by the foundation. This was the stage when Newcastle were playing at Druid Park, just next to the airport, and there was no money. It was a time where, just before the foundation taken over, the club needed sponsors. The players couldn't even afford their own kit. Well, they probably could, but they needed help with it. In terms of having a sponsor all season, I mean, just think of that now is absolutely madness. And it still happens in the game today. Obviously not with our club, because obviously the money's now with the owners. But the performance in this game, it was against Liverpool. I think it was Liverpool Feds, in fact. And we just looked like a shadow of the team that we are today. Take a look at what we're talking about in the performance. We are going to talk a little bit about what we wanted, money being put in, and so on, so on. So many things are different. But this clip here is about the performance of the team. Have a look.
I think we were trying to persist with playing the ball out from the back too much, and I don't think the two centre-backs, we were kind of used to that. They looked like they were put on the wrong foot a lot of the time, a lot of pressure on them, and they constantly lost the ball. I think 2 of the goals from Liverpool were courtesy of losing the ball that far out, or the ball being pushed out too quickly. But that being said, it was just a hard day all day, wasn't it, Paul?
Yeah, it was like girls v women. Physically they seem to impose themselves all over the park.
Very high, didn't it?
Yeah, pressed all the way over the pitch. But we didn't help ourselves at the end of the day. If you're going to keep giving away balls and suicidal balls one after one after one, then you're asking for trouble. We were joking, it was a bit Mike Williamson-esque at times. There was a few bright spots. I thought the number 2,
Brooke Cochran.
Yeah,
captain.
I really liked her playing. I thought she was really, really good. She got up and down on the right hand side all day. Tried to make things happen, but unfortunately I think was let down by most of the people around her. The number 11 as well, thought she was okay.
McKenzie.
First half, I think her link-up play with the aforementioned player was really, really good, but apart from that, like you say, soft in the middle all the way through, and then just nothing up front. It was disjointed. There was no support around the striker. Their keeper in the warm-up was looking really, really dodgy at everything, and she looked really, really small for a goalkeeper.
Didn't test at all.
No, didn't test her. Didn't work her. There was no.
Wow, don't I look even slimmer then? 2 stone lighter back then. Gonna need to start losing some weight when it comes to the new year. But 2 things there that Kyle mentioned there is that, first of all, the money. Look at it now. And that's my dog, by the way, if you can hear it up, he is playing in the background, little Ferdinand. Look at the money now. The money is being ploughed in. They've gone professional, which we will talk about in a moment. Ferdinand wants to say it, doesn't he? But, how can we improve the game? And, the performance wasn't there that day. And you've seen Grace Donnelly, bless her, she's still playing for Newcastle United women still. And she saved the rebound on the penalty shot there. And they need to push it and they need to put money into her. Kyle saying, look what they're doing now. It's quite incredible where the owners have come in, because Mike actually just didn't get a shit, let's be honest, about that, and Lee Charney and whatever. But look at it now. I mean, you had 4,000 people, over 4,100 people at the last home game, despite a live stream being on. People are sitting at home watching the Lasses when they could easily come to Newcastle, so we can get more in. Because let's face it, the more exposure that us as a channel, we try and do. I believe we are, and that's not being big-headed or big egoed. There is a content awards tonight as well, and we should put ourselves forward for women's football. We will next year, but I believe we are the best in Newcastle United, and that's just being confident in what we do. Is we try and push the women's, make more vlogs exciting and get everybody involved, but that starts from the club. Kyle's a spot on. It starts from the club, and look what they're doing now. They play in a better stadium. They play Kingston Park. It's a more professional environment. People are wanting to come now, and they're playing at St James's Park. 22,000, 24,000, 28,000 people turned up to watch Tier 4 football last season. That is quite incredible. Absolutely mind-blowing, that is. And, of course, the next bit we talk about is going professional, because we are professional now. We will talk about that. But have a look at this clip, what we're talking about in the next section.
The women's don't really get a look in, not even the local paper, the Chronicle don't even pick them up, and we're trying to, because obviously the WSL's booming, they had a great World Cup as well.
Yeah.
What can we do more? Obviously we're trying to highlight it, we do the best we can. Paul, you do a lot of posts as well, but what can others do to try and raise a profile?
It has to start with the football club. I mean, the foundation do an excellent job of running this on a shoestring, but at the end of the day, the development team for Newcastle women was cut last year, and judging off today, they clearly need it. And no disrespect to them, there is a couple of really good players in that side, but they need practice. They need to get used to playing football and build into that team, and then Newcastle women's team will excel because of that. And you want,
well, it's not really a case of win, lose or draw, it's just how can you build that to get your 6-year-old girl to come and watch some women play. It
starts with a football club.
You're talking Newcastle United.
You can say the Chronicle. You can say us. I mean, we do our best, but a couple of viewers on YouTube ain't going to do shit. You've got if you're a football club, you need to take this seriously. This is here, Druid Park. It's a fantastic day out. I mean, the result wasn't very good, and the performance was even worse. But that aside, there's so much potential here to do things. Look at the Women's World Cup. That was broadcast around the world and was really something to behold. I mean, like Alex Morgan that are world stars now, and that's something that Newcastle could pick up on. There was a decent crowd today, and you've just got to think, if the club actually take this seriously and finance it and try and get it in the WSL, that's where it would go forward. Just take it more seriously.
You need to move it to the professional level as well. There's a lot of those girls there, you've mentioned a few of them as well. Jaden Maxwell, who came on, there's some of them even working at the club in the box office and stuff like that, so they've got aspirations. They want to develop their career. They don't want to be working at the club or in a shop or whatever.
They've got hopes.
They've got heroes. You've got
just like all the lads.
Several. You've got Steph Horton from the area, Lucy Bronze, Jill Scott. There's loads. Georgia Stanway supports Newcastle from the northwest. So there's a lot of England nationals, and they want to go on. But Kyle was saying there, they need that help.
Yeah, and I've said before to you guys off camera, if you look at some of the other clubs, like when Sunderland got into issues, they opened up the Stadium of Light. You look at other clubs that the women are playing against, the likes of Barnsley, they play on the training pitches next to Oakwell. If you've got smaller clubs like that, League One standard, who are able to support their women's team better than a Premier League club. Now, you can say it's a cost, you can say it's money and stuff like this, but at the end of the day, the facilities are there. St James's Park stood empty today.
Kingston Park.
Yeah. So why can't the club incorporate it more and do more, do some coaching, Steve Bruce and them? What are they doing at the moment? Why can't they do something?
I guarantee you, if the club pushed it more through the social media, through everything like that, yeah, more people would go. You'd get people taking the kids and that wanting to promote women's football and just the football.
I've said today, Carl, my little, and she's getting interested into football, into sport, and she was told on a sports day that girls can't play football, and I was like, no, yes they can. And then she was asking about Newcastle, and you sort of saying, well, yes, we do have a team, but really, apart from the kits that they're wearing, what other clues is there? You know what I mean? At the end of the day, the club should, and again, could be doing a lot more than what they do. And it's about having somebody at the club who will drive change, who will think outside the box. And obviously, we're lumbered with Lee Charnley, who couldn't, you've got a pack of crayons and a colouring book, and that's his level of imagination.
That's right. Incredible, isn't it? Look at it now. How Newcastle United, because Newcastle United women are training at the academy. Personally, I would, and it doesn't affect. That's the thing about the beauty about financial fair play, it doesn't affect women's football. So because we've gone full-time professional, Newcastle United have to rent out Kingston Park. It's not cheap. We're talking thousands upon thousands every time they need to rent that stadium. And then obviously they're paying for staff, and then they're paying for catering and so on and so on. It's a lot of money. So you think that they're making money when realistically, they're not really. Yes, you can get people into St James's Park, and yes, that's probably a little bit on the sideburn at the moment because we've got the Champions League. But Newcastle United women are playing at the academy, the professional, the full time. We're signing players from much more higher caliber of players. You only got to look at the players that were signed this summer. They're coming. Some of them have been in the Women's Champions League, who are happy to drop down to the third tier and play for us. Yes, money talks, of course, but a lot of the lasses that we've signed are actually supporting Newcastle United. A lot of them have played for Sunderland, who play in a higher division, have dropped down to play for us. Because there's an ambition, Amanda Staveley, Mehrdad, and the Saudis get a lot of stick about human rights, and rightly so. But look what they're doing to women's football. Remember, our club is 80% owned by Newcastle United. So anybody who throws accusations about oil money and blood money and what have you, look what they've done to a women's football club. It's incredible. It's absolutely incredible, and more media spotlight should be put on Newcastle United. At the moment, there's hardly anyone. The club have started home stream games, which is brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. That's a start. That'll probably come into contractual when they get higher in the league. They'll not be able to. At the moment, you've got us. You've got Adam occasionally. Matty might do occasionally as well. You've got Jeff and Aaron as well. But apart from that, who regularly pushes the lasses? It needs to be the Chronicle. They need to have someone. I've offered me services for it. It needs to be a local reporter. It needs to be on North East News, BBC Look North. It has to be, because this is professional. And whether you like it or not, it's going to grow and grow and grow. And even if you don't like women's football, this is a grown thing that will get bigger and bigger. And this is a real positive going to the women's game. It's a totally different atmosphere. It's a totally different vibe. I feel closer because I know a lot of the players more personally. Colin, I always try and sneak up on Colin. He's getting me back now with daft photos. There's little things around the ground that you see people on a regular basis, similar fans, Bernie, and obviously Joe. I brought Joe on board as well because I wanted to take that to the next level. And this bad boy is coming away to our first away game because we are going to trial live watch along away to Nottingham Forest this weekend. And also, just speaking of Nottingham Forest this weekend as well, this weekend we've sold out a bus. Now you might laugh at that, but that's a big thing for women's football. We've sold out an away coach. Now the first team, the men, to get 12, 15, 18, whatever buses on away day. We've sold the first one out, and that's incredible. Obviously, I'm going by car, but still, it's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. It's grown, and as I say, they're playing now in a professional environment. There's players coming in. Becky's got help with Andy, who's coming from a professional environment, a higher division. It's all positives, and it's all because our owners have put money into what they want to develop, and the dreams are to get Newcastle United in the WSL, and that'll be incredible. And they're not far off, the second in the league with 2 games in hand into the Championship, and then you're talking the big leagues. Could you imagine Champions League nights? I mean, where they're going to play Champions League nights? I mean, we can dream. It's going to be Kingston Park, and for me personally, and I'm sure it's been touted, that's all I'm going to say, is to have their own training ground. If Newcastle United move away from Whitley Park, that could be their base. And have a little stadium. Have a little stadium of their own. Build it. It doesn't affect financial fair play. And look, we've got money to burn. Let's face it, we just can't spend it on the men's side of things. But St James's Park doesn't affect FFP. The women's football doesn't affect FFP. I want to highlight that clip because that's how much has changed in 4 years since the owners have, since we were twisting. I put a little bit of weight on myself, but apart from that, everything is positive. Probably got a little bit more grey as I get older. But look, it is brilliant. It is absolutely brilliant. I love, and I've got a passion for it, covering women's football for you, because a lot of you are coming in the comments saying I'm learning a lot for you, and I'd really appreciate that, because I'm the only one, except from Johnny to some extent last season, but I'm the only one who pushes women's football. and I will push and push and push because they deserve that spotlight, and I will push and push and doing it. But there you go, everybody. Something totally different here on this international break. That is the end. I hope you have enjoyed that. And yes, this Sunday I will be at the City Ground because they're playing in Nottingham Forest, the lasses. So I'll be going down there with my cousin. Bye. Good night, everyone. Let me know how you think the owners have got on, and what else would you like to see for the women's? Let us know in the comments down there below. Ta-ra, everyone. Bye-bye.